So up to this point in inventory management, we have studied different types of models to manage the inventory. Right from the EOQ model, the Wilson model, to production consumption model, to your shortage model, to your discount model, price break model, right? All these cases and models we have covered so far. But from this lecture onwards, we are going to start a new type of model, which is different from all the models that we have discussed so far. If you pay attention, if you notice, whatever models we have discussed so far, in all of them, we were very sure of how much is the demand, how much is the lead time, right? There was no confusion, no probability, nothing. We were certain, we were sure that this much is the demand. I can say that demand is 500 units and that demand will remain same throughout every order, right? It was not going to change much. Those models are called as deterministic model. Deterministic model. Why? Because we are determined. Determined, English word, means sure, confident, certain. We were determined, we were deterministic that yes, our demand as well as lead time is known to us, it is known and it is a constant, right? But from this lecture onwards, we are going to cover those cases where we are not sure of the demand and lead time, whether they are known to us or not. They may not be known to us. Their single value may not be known to us. Or even if it is known, it may change with the time. It will not be a constant. Such models are called as probabilistic model, and realistically speaking, these are more practical models, right? These are more real life models, because whatever is your demand can change, right? Markets change, situations change, people's interests change, industries change. So demand may not be a constant. And if I talk about lead time, it is most interesting, right? Lead time can be the most uncertain thing, which may not be even in your control, right? It may depend upon the situation of politics in your country, the situation of transport in your country, whether there is some festival going on, whether there is some chakka jam, some protest going on. Different things can change the lead time, right? You would have heard of the cases, if there is tension between two countries, due to that some blocks are applied, that no, the India as a country will not be importing those and those things from China. So lead time of those products is going to now increase, right? It has got nothing to do with that company, with that industry. It was some political as well as national issue which affected the lead time of any specific product. So this is very realistic, very real life example that how these things are not necessarily a constant and a known, right? Those were the assumptions that we did in our previous models. This model onwards, probabilistic, now we are going to study them, probabilistic models, and we will be studying more than one cases. There, this is no longer going to be an assumption. So how we are going to do that? Obviously by using probability, the concepts of probability and statistics. It's a statistical model, right? Whatever we are going to study, they will involve probability, distribution of probability, the normal curve, bell curve, standard deviation, all these things which we have time and again covered in different subjects. If you remember, we have covered this in metrology as well. Introduction of metrology, the first unit of metrology. There I have discussed it in lot of detail with examples. And of course in the units like mathematics and general aptitude, those are the common places where you study them. But in technical subjects also we have touched them, we have covered them at more than one places. So if you remember, few lectures back we were having a discussion where this was the graph that I had shown when we were discussing about reorder level or reorder point, right? It was called as reorder level, ROL, or reorder point. Both of the terms can be used for it. So I'm not explaining this. This has been already discussed earlier. This was the expression where we had reached at this reorder point. Here we are going to place the order. This is showing you the consumption, right? Then again order is placed, then consumption, then again order is placed. So in this consumption, this slope is represented by S, right? If you remember, this was consumption slope or consumption rate. These were the two words that we used for it. And we have used different alphabets here. In production consumption model, it was initially written as C, then it became S, right? Don't worry. Abhi, its denotation is going to change a lot more and it's going to get very interesting. So here, this is showing you that at what rate it is being consumed, right? And this is your lead time, right? Both of them we were considering to be a known number, a constant number, right? When we were discussing about reorder point in our previous lecture. But as I just told you, now we are about to discuss probabilistic model, where there is no guarantee that lead time is going to remain a fixed number, a constant number or not, or this consumption slope or consumption rate even can fluctuate. It may not remain the same. What we are assuming that the product is being consumed at a constant rate, right? Again a constant rate, but that may not be a practical situation. Practically, it may fluctuate. So now we will start modifying slightly we will start modifying this expression considering the probabilistic approach. Don't worry, suddenly I'm not going to just switch and give you the expression that this is the expression, this is standard deviation, this is your variance. I'm not going to do that suddenly. Slowly I'll gradually build your concepts to a level where even the questions which can be asked in GATE, which are yet to be asked, even those you can answer. Obviously, current ones you will be able to solve easily. But even when some tough questions are going to come here from this unit and topic, you will be easily able to solve it. So, this was the expression known to us. As I was telling, S was your consumption slope or consumption rate, right? This is what we have already discussed. This is what S was representing. LT is your lead time. Now, if you look practically, what is your consumption rate or consumption slope? What does it tell you? It tells you this slope means at what rate the quantity is being consumed, right? Or in other words, how much is the demand of that? If you are having an inventory and every day 5 items are being consumed, what does it mean? You are not going to just take things from inventory and throw into garbage. You are going to ship them to the customer, to your vendor, right? It means that's the demand for it. If every day inventory is falling by 5 items per day, means the demand is 5 items per day, right? That is your consumption rate or consumption slope. At what rate it is being consumed, right or not? So here, this can also represent, in a way, let's say daily demand, right? If you are discussing everything in terms of days, number of days, let's say this also we are talking in terms of number of days, this also we are talking in number of days, so that will represent your daily demand. If we are representing this in terms of weeks, how many weeks of lead time is there, then this also will be your weekly demand. Or if this is month, this will be your monthly demand, right or not? So this S can tell you the demand as well, right? It can tell you the demand as well. It can be daily demand or weekly or monthly demand, right? Means how much is the requirement per unit day, per week, per month, right? So in a way, that same thing is telling you the consumption rate, right? This is just another name, one more representation of the same thing. You have to very carefully observe that how a single thing can be represented, can be written, can be denoted in so many ways. Abhi to I'm just starting it, just wait, I'll tell you 6 ways in which this question can ask you. Same thing, same thing can be represented in 6 different ways, right? So how earlier in our production consumption model it was representing and called something else, and how the same thing now in this model is going to take a slightly different name. So here it is representing your demand, which can be per day, per week or per month. And when you multiply that with how much is the lead time can either be represented by L. Let's do it with LT. Then you will get how much is the reorder level, correct? Daily demand is 5 and lead time is 3. So how many items will be left when you will place the order? 15. 5 multiplied by 3, because every day 5 will be gone and 3 days it will take to come. So in those 3 days, 15 items will be gone. So you need to ensure that you already have 15 items. As soon as you reach 15, you will place the order, so that by the end of third day you are having again the stock with you, right? So here what we can do, that this expression now, let's slightly, as I was telling you, shift towards the probabilistic model, where we don't know that the demand will be same or not. Maybe on the day 1 demand can be more, on the day 2 demand can be less, again on day 3 demand increases. We don't know that the demand, once you place the order, this is the point, right? This is the point where order was placed. After that point, it's not certain. Let's assume that demand will be fixed. It is not certain. Demand can change. So what can we write in this expression? Can we not write then D as average value, average demand? Absolutely, right? We can definitely write it as average demand, right? If there are fluctuation, then average demand value will be used, multiplied again by the lead time, multiplied again with the lead time. Correct? Don't worry, we'll come to it, that how this value can fluctuate and how to calculate. We'll come to that. So how this D bar is being represented, we can write it, we can call it average demand per day or per week or per month. Correct? The same thing, but if there are fluctuations, but suppose question has given you average value, so no problem, we'll put the average value in. Please note, there are many types of names possible for this. It can be called as average demand per day, or mean demand per day, or expected demand per day, right? So these are the different terminologies that can be used to represent the same thing. Right now I have not even started discussing the concept of probabilistic model. I am just making you aware and comfortable with the terminology. Abhi I will be doing that for another 5-7 minutes. I will be making you comfortable with the terminologies so that you don't make silly mistakes. I'll also give you one tip to prevent those silly mistakes. So these are the different names for this very expression that we have discussed before. Please note one thing, that this reorder level or reorder point, why are we doing it? Why are we considering and studying about reorder level? So that after placing the order, if there are certain fluctuations, even if there are no fluctuation, there will be demand, right? So that demand, this shaded part is showing you that demand, right? So that demand can be fulfilled, right? Aisa nahi that once order is consumed and then you place the order, then there will be a phase where you have no stock. How will you fulfill and satisfy the orders which are coming? So you have to order in advance, so that till the time order comes, you have some stock left with you, right? Which means that this is not something that I am telling you for the first time, we know it. But this means that this reorder level does not depend upon these values, right? It does not depend upon that. What was happening before placing the order does not matter. If this demand was constant, if it was changing, it's suddenly changing, does not matter. All you have to focus upon is that after placing the order, after the reorder point, when order was placed, how the values are fluctuating. Is the mean demand changing or not? How much is the lead time? So all that, these values now, how much is the daily demand, how much is the average demand per day, expected demand per day, all these values, right? These are relevant for lead time only. After you have placed order, after that only, right? Because that reorder level and these stocks are going to be used in these time only, na? Right? So if you have 100 units here, you are concerned that bhai, these 100 units should not get consumed before the order comes. If your 100 units gets consumed before that, how will you then satisfy the orders which are coming? So it matters. What matters? The demand, average value of demand after the order is placed. Isse pehle, before placing the order, it does not matter. So these are the values after placing the order which matters. That is why you will see that in questions, in discussions, these terms will be used with a addition. What will be that addition? Lead time will be the addition. Means they will, instead of mentioning daily demand, instead of mentioning daily demand, question may mention daily lead time demand. It's not different. It is not different. It is same only, right? It is specifying that only we are giving you the value for lead time, which is fine, which is the value which we need. Similarly, instead of saying average demand per day, what question can mention? Average demand per day during lead time. So average demand per day during lead time, or average or a mean demand per day during lead time, or expected demand per day during lead time, all of them are representing this same variable which we have written here, na, d bar. It can be given so many names, right? From here, any of these, any of these, any of these, as well as any of these. So don't get confused ki this is something different. We have to take lead time value only, right? If you have been given, suppose I am giving you a hypothetical question, I don't think it will ask this, but it has, question has given you two value of this average demand. Average demand before lead time was, let's say, d dash, and average demand during lead time is this. So to calculate reorder level, you have to consider this value during lead time, right? Because your items which you have in your inventory will be consumed, will be used in lead time. So you are concerned with the demand in the lead time only. Got it? So I was again telling you just to make you comfortable with all these alphabets. There's one more thing here which can come. Rather, if you look at this expression only, when you are going to multiply this with lead time, what you are getting? You can say reorder level, correct? Reorder level is this point. Let me slightly clear it up. Reorder level is this point when you are placing the order. But you also realize that we want that this entire reorder stock or reorder point, how many items we have there, will be entirely consumed in this duration, right? In this duration of lead time, they will be entirely consumed. So in a way, reorder level is also telling you that how much will be the total demand in lead time, correct? Because if total demand during lead time is 100 items, listen to me carefully, if total demand during lead time is 100 items, so obviously this point is going to be at 100 items now, because at this point you are only keeping those quantities which will be used in the lead time. So to represent even this reorder level or reorder point, what you can do, it can represent the total demand, or in other words the demand during lead time, because that's what it is fulfilling. Reorder level is fulfilling the demand of lead time. So if you multiply that, if you multiply this d bar with lead time, what we have done here, in this expression, right? So what you are going to get? So far this was representing the demand per day or per week or per month, but now it will not be talking about per day or per month, but for entire lead time, because now we are multiplying it with the lead time, right? So this is what we are going to get. It is simply telling you lead time demand. Per day is gone, daily is gone, it's simply lead time demand. Similarly here, per day will be gone, as well as per week or per month, it will be average demand during lead time, or mean demand during lead time, or expected demand during lead time. Again, these are the different words which are being used for reorder point or reorder level. Same formula is there. Per day, how much is the demand and how many lead time is there? Multiply them, you will get the total demand in the lead time. That will be same as reorder level or reorder point. So up to this point, what we have covered, no new concept of any, or no special concept of probability distribution, but now we are so much comfortable in different terminologies that are going to be used in our discussion. I am giving you a very simple way, a very common advice that you have heard from me a lot of times earlier, that to avoid any confusion, just focus on units. If question has given you that the demand is 50 items, right? your focus should instantly go, Arey, 50 items means what? Is it per day? Is it per week? Is it per month? Because that will help you. There is one more type of mistake that students can do, that this value they will put in per day. But suppose lead time is 1 week, so they will write 1 week only. No, if per day consumption is 5 and lead time is 1 week, so you need to multiply 7, because 7 days are there in a week, right? Every day 7. Every day this demand of 5 will be used. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. You have to multiply that. So paying attention to the unit will not only avoid such silly mistake which you can do, but also this confusion of terminology if you are having, that also will be gone. How? If, as I was explaining, if it talks about 50 items, that there are demand is of 50 items, pay attention, per day, per month, or per year, or per week. That will automatically tell you that are we talking about any specific demand, which is, or are we talking about this d bar value? Is this value given to us? Because if it is per day, per week, per month, then it is this value. But if it just says that demand is 50 items in the lead time, then it is giving you this product, or in other words, reorder level or reorder point. If it is just given you, question has given you that demand is 50 items during the lead time, without saying per day, per week, per month, then automatically it is this value, their product is given to you, that how much is the lead time demand. Getting? So that is why don't think that units are there only for technical subjects. Means this is also a technical subject, but it does not require so much concepts and so many heavy expressions and conversions of units that we have done in so many other subjects, right? So don't have this wrong idea in your mind, if it is not SOM, TOM, FM, thermo, manufacturing, then I don't have to worry about units. No, you have to be careful about units in every subject, like this also. So it can not only avoid the confusion, but also, as I explained you, we'll avoid silly mistake that something can be per day, something can be per week, and what happened that you did not pay attention and now you are gone. There will be some question where one data will be per month and some data can be per day, and question will mention take 25 working days in a month. Then you have to be again careful that don't assume yaar 1 month mein whether I take 30 days or 31 days or 28 days of February, or what to do. So all those things will be provided to you in the question, given that you are reading it carefully and you are paying attention. Got it?